Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck. Remember when I said in my last vlog that the plan now that things were getting back to normal was I was going to start busting out reviews, but if anything new should come along, that would take precedent and I would try to get to those right away? Well, look what I was able to find on eBay. From the Transformers Cyberverse line, this is Ultimate Class Optimus Prime. Now, keep in mind, Cyberverse is their new cartoon series, and this isn't a throwback to the old smaller scale leader, commander, and legion figures from a few years ago, which were really, really good. Now, starting off with the look of the figure. Obviously, yes, this is a Neo G1 look, and what I think it pulls from is G1, the original G1 animation, as well as animated. I think they basically took animated Optimus Prime, smoothed out some of the, or angled some of the smooth edges, and gave him a bit, and put more of that G1 flair into it. It is a really fun figure. This is also obviously another upgrade to the Authentics figures, the small and the larger scale figures. But it's a lot of fun. There's also a nice heft and tactile feel to it, at least in my opinion. I don't feel the plastic is cheap at all. Yes, it's hollow in some places, but that's necessary for the transformation, and things of that nature. This is fully articulated. You have universal joints here in the hips, with nice ratcheting there in and out. You do have a swivel, which I really don't want to fool around with because it's really high up and I don't want to affect the transformation. You do have a natural A-stance molded into the legs, which are single-jointed knees. You do have some great movement here in the shoulders. That's a bit for the transformation joint, but you do have, interestingly enough, ratcheting elbows and an outward movement right underneath the shoulder pad. So kind of makes you wonder where the shoulder is, but the head swivels, and unfortunately it's not on a ball joint, so you don't get that really nice expressive movement. There is a gimmick in this mode. Well, actually it's also in the vehicle mode as well. It's called the Matrix Mega Shot. Now, I don't want to say anything about other reviewers, but I've been noticing reviews of the Warrior class figures and complaints about the gimmick, is it working and this and that. And I can't help but wonder that if, a lot of this gimmick in particular is a two-step gimmick, and maybe that might be the issue, that people aren't reading instructions and missing out certain parts. Which, by the way, again, this is the kids line. The instructions have to fit a uniform size, so yes, certain things are going to be left out. But anyway, to get to the gimmick, there are little, not raised areas, but you see these cutout platforms on either side. Press it down. Oh, you got to press both down. And basically what that will do is spring out the Matrix from his chest. The head section here is on a little bit of a hinge, so it can lift out of the way. The doors and the Matrix are on springs. Everything does snap back into place. And the next step is coming, see how I can show it to you. Right there is a little gear section. And if you start spinning that, basically the Matrix will spin, the blue section will open up, and that's the Matrix blast. So some sort of tornado action. Let's see if I can, and if we just open this up, oh, my hands are in the way, but you can see that it's a fairly nice looking representation of the Matrix. Now to reset everything, lift up Optimus Prime's head, that brings up that whole neck section. Rotate this Matrix section back until you hear it click into place and bring the head back down. I should also mention that this back panel section comes detached in the box. It just snaps into place here on the hinges, and they do show you that in the instructions. That I was very impressed about. So, we'll pause for now, and we'll get into the transformation and see if this figure possesses a high level of the power of destrucity. And if you get that, give yourself an extra cookie tonight. Okay, step 1 in the transformation, after you start with the figure in the neutral position, bend the knee elbows up all the way so they're sticking straight out. And yes, unfortunately, there is this covered fist thing going on, which has been rather popular with Optimus Primes for years. Next, what you want to do is come behind the figure here, detach the backpack, and flip the head up like so. Next, and I'm going to move the arms out of the way to give you a clearer shot, is a little step that's really not clear in the instructions. The torso is on an accordion hinge here, so what you need is snap it out from the waist, but then snap this section forward so that then the torso can come back up. And there's a clip section there and some grooves right behind Optimus's, where Optimus's head is, that are going to the torso will slide into place. And you want to bring the arms back down just like so. And yeah, like I said, that's not shown in the instructions, so that's something you want to pay attention to. The next step is we're going to do the old G1 Optimus Prime transformation. Basically, bring the arms in on the side like that, rotate it at the bicep. There's a little tab where on this side that will peg into place, just like so. You're going to do it again on this side. Now, this side's a little different. This side, you're going to notice there's a hole where this wheel has a little peg that will go into, and the tab right in front of it. That's because that wheel will activate the Matrix Blast gimmick in vehicle mode, which I'll get to a little bit later. Next, what you want to do is these side panels with the Autobot logo, they're going to flip forward. This little slot there, tab right there. It's all in red, so it's, I don't know if you're going to see it, and it will just peg right into place. You get a nice little secure transformation, just like that. Now, I would say, just for your sanity, bring this canopy down. Oh, crap. And activate the Matrix gimmick. Yeah, that's going to happen. It's a little spring happy, but what are you going to do? At least it works. Bring that down, and then not on the middle, but on the side. Just peg it into place, and then that, as you can see, the middle section of the canopy is on a little spring section, so that will flip back up. But it does help to get it out of the way, because now we're going to work with the legs. What I would first suggest is bringing the panels here on the bottom of the feet out and swing them out all the way. You're going to need that space to work with. Now, the instructions don't show this, but the legs do peg together at the top by the knee, and also down by the feet. So you do want to do that. And then the next step, which again really isn't shown well, you see these slots here right below the knee and the back of the leg. There are, right where my finger is, little bars that'll need, when you fold the legs up, as we're doing right now, that needs to snap into place. So you want to fold it up, activate the gimmick again, and then snap everything down, just like that. It'll hold right into place. And then the next step is these little red panels are going, there are tabs right there on them. They're going to go into slots right here on the inside. So just friction that into place. Make sure you get it in. I sometimes like to look from the bottom. And then once again, flip up the Matrix Blast gimmick because you activated it. At least there's no sound. Could you imagine if this was like an electronic sound and every time you set off like a whole bunch of Optimus Prime talking? But anyway, there you have Ultimate Class Optimus Prime in its vehicle mode. And for the sake of argument, let's talk about the Matrix Blast gimmick. Just press down here. That will spring everything out. Now, it actually can spin while it rolls. Unfortunately, on my surface here, I don't have the traction. But remember, this wheel here on the side is now pegged into the gear system. So, boom. So you get on some carpeting, a heavy-duty placemat. Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's some fun right there. So definitely, I'm having way too much fun with this right now. But, yep. That's about it for the vehicle mode. So we'll pause, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Ultimate Class Optimus Prime is a fun figure. I know many of you shake your heads when I say that because you just don't feel that simplified figures that are designed for kids are allowed to be fun. Or an adult collector such as myself can actually enjoy them. Well, I do. I really like the look of the truck mode. I like the look of the robot mode, and I like the gimmick. Sure, I tripped it a couple times. That's because I got big hands. These are for smaller hands. Definitely when you start seeing these show up, I think it's worth a pickup. It's going to be a lot of fun for kids. Hopefully this will get them into the larger scale Transformers, and this might be the gateway to Generations. I got this figure off of eBay. I have heard they're starting to show up in Targets around the United States and Canada, as well as the rest of the Wave 1 Cyberverse. So you might get lucky and find it. Really nothing more I can say about it. Just thank you for watching. Especially if you've watched to this end point. That is a very important thing now with the views, with YouTube and their algorithms. Also, if you could like and comment, that also factors into the algorithms with YouTube and videos getting noticed. And that's about it. For Optimus Prime, we will see you next time.